Mr. Miller? The voice on the phone was flat, official. Yes, speaking. My chest tightened. This is First National Bank. We're calling about your overdue balance. Your account shows multiple luxury purchases, totaling $15,000. What? That's impossible. I've never owned a card that high. My hands shook so badly I nearly dropped the phone. The woman didn't sound moved. Sir, the card is under your name. Designer handbags, jewelry, a Cancun trip. Are you saying this wasn't you? My mouth went dry. No, absolutely not. I don't even travel. Then you'll need to file a fraud claim immediately. But the account is still your legal responsibility until the matter is resolved. I hung up, my head pounding. Fraud? No, this was something worse. I stormed into the kitchen, where Emily sat sipping an iced coffee, scrolling through her phone. Emily. My voice cracked. She glanced up lazily. What? Did you use my name for a credit card? Her lips curved. Oh, that. Yeah, I did. Don't freak out. You'll pay it off eventually. I blinked, stunned. You ruined my credit! $15,000? A trip? Designer bags? What were you thinking? She rolled her eyes. Relax, it's just money. Family helps family, right? You've always been so uptight. I'll pay it back someday. I gripped the counter, my pulse thundering. Someday? Emily, do you even realize what you've done? My life depends on credit scores, rent, jobs, everything. You tanked it in one shot, she smirked. You sound so dramatic. It's not the end of the world. Besides, you've always had better luck than me. Think of it as balancing things out. My jaw clenched. Balancing things out? You stole my future. Mom walked in just then, carrying groceries. What's going on here? Tell her, I snapped at Emily. Emily shrugged, sipping her drink. He's mad I used his name for a credit card. He's acting like it's a crime. Mom's face softened, like she was already siding with her. Sweetheart, calm down. She's your sister. Sometimes siblings share things. Don't turn this into a war. Share things. Mom, she committed fraud. My name, my credit, my life. Do you even hear me? Mom set the bags down. I hear you, but yelling won't solve anything. Emily, you should have asked first. But he'll recover. Don't you always bounce back, honey? Her casual tone cut deeper than the debt itself. So that's it? She destroys everything and I'm just supposed to bounce back? Mom sighed. It's money. Money comes and goes. Don't let it ruin your bond. Emily leaned back smugly. See? Even Mom says it's not a big deal. I stared at them both, heat rising in my chest. You think I'm overreacting? Fine. Wait until I can't rent an apartment. Wait until employers laugh me out of interviews. Then tell me it's not a big deal. Emily waved a hand. You're being over the top. You'll thank me someday when you realize money is meant to be spent, not hoarded. Thank you? My laugh came out broken. For destroying my name? For making me look like a thief in my own life? Emily, you've always been selfish, but this is something else. Her smile faltered just for a second. Then she shrugged. You'll live, I wanted to scream, but the weight of betrayal crushed me silent. My own sister. My own blood. And Mom, the one person I thought would defend me, was brushing it off like it was spilled milk. I whispered, You just killed my trust, Emily. She didn't even look up. Drama king. I turned to Mom, my voice low, shaking. If you don't see how serious this is, then maybe I'm truly alone here. Mom touched my arm gently. You're not alone, sweetheart. But don't hold grudges. Family mistakes happen. Family mistakes? I pulled away. A mistake is breaking a vase, not ruining someone's life. Silence stretched in the room. The hum of the refrigerator filled the space where my childhood innocence used to be. I walked out, my body trembling, my head screaming. Every step felt like dragging chains. I thought about the banker's cold voice, Emily's smirk, Mom's excuses. My life had just been reset to zero, but as I slammed my bedroom door shut, one thought pierced through the chaos. If my own family could betray me like this, then I had no one to rely on but myself. And if I had to rebuild from nothing, I would make sure Emily regretted every single dollar. Mr. Miller, I'm sorry, but with your credit score, we can't approve this rental. I stared at the landlord, my hands gripping the folder of pay stubs I had brought. But I've got steady income. I can pay first and last month's rent right now. He shook his head. Doesn't matter. Score's too low. I can't risk it. When I stepped out of his office, the humiliation burned hotter than the summer sun. I dialed Mom immediately. Mom, I just got denied again. I can't even rent a one-bedroom because of Emily's debt. Do you realize how bad this is? Her voice was calm, almost tired. Honey, I told you, don't let this come between you. Emily didn't mean harm. Mom, I'm homeless. I'm sleeping on Marcus's couch because she maxed out credit in my name. She's your sister. Family sacrifices for each other. You'll recover. I clenched my jaw. You call this a sacrifice? She's parading around in $1,000 shoes while I can't even get an apartment lease. Before she could reply, I hung up. My chest felt tight, my blood boiling. That night, Marcus dropped onto the couch beside me, tossing me a soda. Rough day? Another landlord laughed in my face, I muttered. Said my score looked like a crime scene. He was right. Marcus whistled low. Man, that's brutal. And your folks still won't hold her accountable? They say I should forgive her. Like forgiveness fixes eviction notices. He shook his head. Your dad say anything? I scoffed. Dad?
He told me Emily's young and I should stop being selfish.
Selfish? Can you believe that? Marcus leaned forward. So what are you gonna do? You can't keep sleeping here forever. I don't know. Work more, pay it down, somehow rebuild. I rubbed my eyes. But Marcus, it's like climbing out of a grave she buried me in. He studied me for a long moment. Don't let this turn into revenge. I know you're thinking about it, I snapped. Wouldn't you? She destroyed me. Yeah, but revenge eats you alive before it feeds anyone else. You're already drowning. Don't hand her the rope, too. His words hit hard, but my anger still roared louder than reason. The next morning, I sat across from Dad at the kitchen table. He sipped his black coffee, eyes glued to the newspaper. Dad, I need to talk to you. About what? His tone was clipped, uninterested. Emily. She used my name, destroyed my credit. I can't rent, can't get loans. I need you to see what she did. He folded the paper slowly, finally looking at me. You're overreacting. Emily's your sister. She made a mistake. You'll bounce back. Stop whining. Whining? My fists trembled on the table. I'm working double shifts, sleeping on a couch, and you call that whining? You're a man. Handle it. Don't blame your sister for your struggles, I laughed bitterly. She's the reason for my struggles. He stood, straightening his tie. This conversation's over. Of course it is, I muttered. It always is when Emily's at fault. His silence stung more than his words. He left without another glance. Later that week at work, whispers followed me. I overheard 2 coworkers near the break room. Did you see his background check? Dead up to his ears? Yeah, management doesn't like that. Makes him look irresponsible. Their voices sliced through me. I walked past without saying a word, but inside I was bleeding. Emily's choices weren't just costing me money, they were staining my name everywhere I went. That night, Marcus found me hunched over a stack of bills. You look like hell, he said. I feel like hell, I admitted. Everywhere I turn, it's another door slammed shut. Landlords, jobs, even my own parents, he sat across from me. You can't control them. You can only control what you do next. What I do next? Marcus, I can't even control what's left of my life. Emily's still out there shopping, laughing. I'm the joke. You're not the joke. You're the guy trying to climb back up. Don't lose sight of that, I shook my head. I don't know if I'm strong enough. You are, he said firmly. But you've got to decide, are you rebuilding for yourself or just to make her pay? His question lingered in the silence. I stared at the bills again. Every late fee, every overdraft screamed her name. Finally, I whispered, maybe both. Marcus sighed. I knew you'd say that. Just don't let the hate be the only fuel. It'll burn you down too. I didn't answer. I couldn't. Because deep down I knew he was right, yet the fire in me was too strong to put out. I slammed the fridge shut harder than I meant to. Emily, we need to talk. She looked up from her bowl of cereal, spoon dangling from her mouth. Wow, angry much? What now? You maxed out cards in my name. You ruined my credit. I can't get an apartment. I can't get a loan. I can't even breathe without your debt choking me. She smirked, leaning back in the chair. Oh, please. You'll bounce back. You always do. Stop whining. Whining? My voice cracked. Emily, I'm sleeping on Marcus's couch while you strut around in $1,000 outfits I paid for. Do you get that? She tapped her spoon against the bowl. So dramatic. Family sacrifices for each other. You should be proud you could help me out. I gripped the counter, my hands shaking. Help you out? You didn't ask. You stole my future. You call that family? Don't be so self-righteous, she rolled her eyes. It's just money, chill. It's my life. My throat burned. Do you even care what happens to me? Before she could answer, Mom walked in, wiping her hands on a dish towel. What's all this shouting? Tell her, Mom, I snapped. Emily sighed like she was bored. He's mad about the credit card thing again. Mom frowned, then turned to me. Sweetheart, lower your voice. You'll wake the neighbors. Mom, she destroyed me. Don't you see that? She made a mistake. Stop treating her like a criminal. A mistake? I laughed bitterly. No, a mistake is forgetting to lock the door. She deliberately signed my name and maxed everything out. Mom put her hand on my shoulder. You've always been the strong one. Don't hold grudges. Family needs forgiveness, I shook her off. You're defending her again. Like always. Emily's grin widened. See? Even Mom knows you're overreacting. Overreacting? My voice trembled. Emily, you've ruined my reputation, my career prospects, my independence. And you still laugh? She leaned forward, her eyes mocking. Maybe you're not as tough as you think. Maybe you should man up. Her words sliced through me. My fists clenched, my body shaking. For a second, I thought I'd collapse. Dad's voice came from the doorway. What's going on here? Emily answered before I could. He's blaming me for his problems again. Dad's eyes flicked to me, cold and sharp. Stop yelling at your sister. I stared at him, stunned. That's it? No questions, no concern? Just blame me? He adjusted his tie. You're the older one. Act like it. Quit complaining. My chest tightened. So you're fine with her ruining my credit, my life? Enough! His tone was final, cutting. This house has heard enough of your whining. I couldn't breathe. My parents, my own blood, had left me standing alone. Emily smirked like she'd won the war without lifting a finger. I stormed out of the kitchen, slamming the door behind me. My hands shook as I dialed Marcus. He answered on the second ring. You sound like you're about to explode. I am. My voice cracked. She laughed in my face, told me to man up. Mom defended her. Dad stayed silent. I'm completely alone, Marcus sighed. I'm sorry, man. I know how it feels to be outnumbered. But you're not completely alone. You've got me. His words hit me harder than he knew. I swallowed. It doesn't feel like enough. She took everything, Marcus. And they let her. That's because they don't see her the way you do. They don't want to. I can't keep living like this. I can't keep begging for justice in a house that doesn't care. Then stop begging, he said firmly. Stop waiting for them to wake up. If you rebuild what she broke, you'll come back stronger. Then she'll choke on her own lies. The silence stretched as his words sank in. You think I can really rebuild? I whispered. I know you can. But you've got to stop expecting her to fix it. She won't. This is your fight now. I leaned against the wall, tears stinging my eyes. I want her to pay, Marcus. She will, he said softly. But first you have to get your life back. That's the real revenge. I closed my eyes, breathing hard. For the first time, anger twisted into something sharper, something stronger. You're right, I finally said. I'll rebuild. And one day she'll see what she did to me. She won't laugh then. Marcus's voice steadied me. That's the spirit. Don't fight in their arena. Build your own. That night, lying awake on his couch, I stared at the ceiling. My heart still burned from Emily's words, from Mom's excuses, from Dad's silence. But Marcus's voice echoed louder. Rebuild. Come back stronger. I pulled out a notebook and wrote the first line of my new plan, fix my credit. Fix my life. Make Emily regret every dollar. Double shift again? Claire leaned against the break room counter, her coffee steaming in her hands. Yeah, I muttered, tugging at my apron. Bills don't pay themselves. She raised an eyebrow. Or is it debt collectors breathing down your neck? I froze, then forced a chuckle. What makes you think that? The way you check your phone every 10 minutes. The way you grab every extra hour no one else wants. And the way you look like you haven't slept since last Tuesday. Maybe I just like cheap noodles and black circles under my eyes. Claire smirked, but her eyes softened. You don't have to pretend with me. I sighed, sinking into a chair. My credit's trashed. Loan officers won't even let me finish my sentence before they laugh. And it's not even my fault. Family? She guessed. Yeah. My sister signed off on a mountain of debt in my name. And my parents told me to forgive her. Meanwhile, I'm drowning. Claire shook her head. That's brutal. So what's the plan? I slid a folded notebook from my bag and dropped it on the table. Every charge, every fee, every late payment. I'm tracking all of it. She flipped through the pages, eyes widening. You're building a case. More like building a life back from ashes. Each payment I make, I write down. Not to forget. To remember. To prove what she cost me, her voice lowered. That's heavy. But maybe powerful too. Powerful? I scoffed. It feels like digging my way out of a grave with a spoon. Claire leaned closer. Maybe, but graves aren't forever if you keep digging. Her words stuck with me even after she walked out. Later that night, Marcus called. You still alive? He asked. Barely. 2 shifts today. Side gig after. My hands feel like stone. Let me guess. You're eating noodles again! I laughed bitterly. Cheapest ones in the aisle. 4 for $1. You can't live like this forever, man. I don't need forever. I just need long enough to pay down the mess and rebuild my credit. Then maybe I can breathe again. Marcus exhaled. And what about her, Emily? You just gonna let her dance around in designer clothes while you kill yourself? No, I said sharply. I'm writing it all down. Every single dollar. One day she'll see the bill. She'll choke on it. Silence stretched. Then Marcus said, Good, but don't let revenge eat you alive in the meantime. It's not revenge, I muttered. It's survival. The days blurred into each other. I'd clock in, smile at customers, then drag myself to a warehouse job at night. My body screamed, but my notebook kept filling. One afternoon, Claire caught me scribbling numbers during break. Still at it? She asked. Still at it. She sat across from me. Why do you do that? Most people would try to forget, because forgetting lets her win. This notebook, it's proof I matter, that my suffering isn't invisible. She studied me, then whispered, You're stronger than you think. I almost laughed. Strong? I'm barely standing. That's still standing, she replied. At home, the air mattress groaned beneath me. I flipped through my notebook, the ink smudged from sweat. $87, I muttered. That's 1 pair of shoes she bought. 2 weeks of my lunch is gone. I clenched my pen so hard it snapped. The phone buzzed. Marcus again. You sound wrecked, he said. I am wrecked. But I'm not stopping. You remind me of a boxer who refuses to stay down. Blood everywhere, but still swinging. Then I'll swing until my arms break. Marcus chuckled softly. Or until you land the knockout punch. Just remember why you're fighting. Not just against her. For yourself, his words sank deep. For myself. The next morning, Claire slid a granola bar across the counter. On the house, she said. I frowned. I don't take charity. Who said it's charity? Call it an investment. You're going to pay it forward one day. Something in her tone made me believe her. Thanks, I murmured. She smiled faintly. Don't thank me yet. Just keep fighting. Walking home that night, my legs heavy as bricks, I looked at the notebook tucked under my arm. Every line inside wasn't just debt. It was evidence of who I was becoming. Disciplined, relentless, unbreakable. Emily thought she'd buried me under numbers. But with every dollar I paid, I was clawing my way out, and I swore one day she'd see the man she tried to destroy standing taller than she ever imagined. I walked into the kitchen one morning and caught Emily slamming her phone down. What's wrong? I asked, though my tone carried more curiosity than concern. Nothing, she snapped, then sighed. Okay, fine. Jessica won't answer me. None of them will. They're all acting fake. Or maybe they're done funding your shopping trips with free rides and attention. She glared. Don't start with me. You think you're so much better just because you're working overtime at some dead-end job? At least my cards don't decline at the register. Her face went red. You heard about that? I leaned against the counter. Hard not to. News travels fast when the queen of designer bags suddenly can't pay for lunch. You're enjoying this, aren't you? She hissed. Not enjoying. Just noticing karma finally showing up. Emily stormed past me, but her silence was louder than any insult. That night, Marcus called. Guess what I heard, he said. What? Emily's boyfriend, what's his name, Ethan? He walked out on her. Something about not wanting deadweight. I couldn't stop a laugh. Figures. He was only around for her cards. Man, I almost feel bad for her. Almost. Don't. She never felt bad for me when I was sleeping on an air mattress. Marcus paused. So what now? You gonna rub it in? I don't need to. Life's doing the work for me. Still, justice is best served when they know exactly what they did. Otherwise, it's just silent suffering. His words echoed in my head long after we hung up. The next day at work, Claire noticed my grin. "What's with the smile?" she asked. "Emily's falling apart. Her friends ghosted her, her boyfriend dumped her, and Dad won't fund her anymore. Karma's finally here." Claire folded her arms. "And you're happy about it?"
Shouldn't I be?
Look, I'm not saying she doesn't deserve consequences, but obsessing over her downfall? That's dangerous. You're finally rebuilding. Don't get stuck staring at her collapse, I frowned. Easy for you to say. You don't know what it felt like, watching her live like royalty while I drowned in debt. You're right, I don't. But I know this. Revenge doesn't heal you. Progress does. Her words stung, mostly because part of me knew she was right. That evening, Emily cornered me in the hallway. "You think you're winning, don't you?" She spat. "Winning? No, surviving?" Yes, her eyes were glassy. "Ethan said I was useless. He walked out after dinner, just gone." I almost felt sympathy. Almost. "Maybe now you know how it feels to lose everything in one night," I said. Her voice cracked. "You don't understand." I stepped closer. "No, Emily, you don't understand. Every fee, every call from collectors, every door slammed in my face because of what you did. That was my life." "And you laughed." "You told me to man up." She bit her lip, eyes darting away. "I didn't think it would get this bad. That's the problem. You never think about anyone but yourself." She opened her mouth, then shut it. For once, she had no comeback. Later, Marcus and I met at the diner. He leaned forward over his burger. "So, did you give her the speech?" "Yeah, she looked like a cornered animal," he smirked. "Good, but don't stop there. She needs to know the full cost. Every dollar you tracked in that notebook, that's your weapon." I tapped the table. "You really think she'd care about numbers?" "Not now. But when she's desperate, when she's begging for sympathy, shoving the truth in her face will cut deeper than anything else." I sat back, unsure. Claire keeps telling me to let it go. To focus on me, not her. Marcus raised an eyebrow. "And whose voice do you want in your head? Claire's hope or Emily's mockery?" The question lingered long after the check came. When I got home, Emily sat on the couch scrolling through her dead phone. "Charger broke," she muttered. "Can I borrow—" "No." She stared at me stunned. "It's just a charger. It's never just anything with you." I headed to my room, notebook under my arm. Behind me, she whispered, "You really hate me, don't you?" I paused. Hate wasn't the word. Determination was, but I didn't correct her. In my room, I flipped to the last page of the notebook and wrote, "Emily. Broken cards. No friends dumped by Ethan." I closed it slowly. The weight of every entry pressing down. Claire wanted me to heal. Marcus wanted me to strike. But deep inside, I wanted something else. To make her feel exactly what I felt, and judging by the cracks in her world, that moment was closer than ever. The email notification lit up my screen. Credit score. Excellent. I stared at it, barely breathing. After years of scraping by, every shift, every side gig, every cheap meal, it was finally here. I grabbed the binder from my desk. Thick, heavy, every page a scar. Receipts, overdraft notices, interest statements, my proof, my weapon. That evening, I walked into the living room where Mom, Dad, and Emily sat watching TV. "Family meeting," I said. Emily rolled her eyes. "What now? Another lecture?" I set the binder on the table with a thud. "No, a bill," Mom frowned. "What are you talking about?" Emily smirked. "A bill? You're not serious." I opened the binder, flipping to the first page. "This is the overdraft fee from the first card you maxed. Here's the late fee I paid when collectors called me instead of you. And here," I slid a paper toward her, "is the interest. Compounded." Her smirk faded. "You actually kept all this?" "For years." My voice didn't shake this time. "Every cent you stole. Every dollar I bled." Dad shifted uncomfortably.
Son, isn't this a little extreme?
"She's your sister." "No, Dad. What's extreme is me being denied apartments, jobs, and loans because she used my name like a personal ATM. Emily let out a sharp laugh. "You can't be serious. What, you expect me to pay you back? With interest?" I leaned forward. "Exactly." Her face paled. I remembered the day I first walked into Mr. Davis's office, desperate and broke. "You want to rebuild?" he had said. "Then you need patience, discipline, and proof. Track everything. One day that record will mean more than money." That advice had carried me here. Now, watching Emily's hands shake as she flipped through the pages, I understood what he meant. Emily slammed the binder shut. "This is ridiculous." "No," I said, calm and steady. "This is accountability." Mom's voice softened. "Honey, don't you think this is harsh? She's your sister." I looked at her. "When I begged for help, you told me to forgive her. When I slept on the floor, you told me to be patient." I was patient. "Now it's her turn." Emily pushed back in her chair. "You're bluffing. You wouldn't actually expect me to pay this." "I'm not bluffing. I've got the documents, the numbers, and if I wanted, I could take this further. But I'm giving you the chance to do the right thing." Her voice cracked. "You wouldn't." For the first time, I said quietly, "You don't get to decide what I would or wouldn't do." Dad cleared his throat. "Emily's made mistakes, sure. But dragging this out now? It feels vindictive." I met his eyes. "Vindictive is what she did when she laughed in my face and told me to man up. Vindictive is ruining someone's future for handbags and vacations. This..." I tapped the binder. "This is justice," Emily whispered. "You're insane." "No," I said. "I'm free. And you're in debt. To me." Later that night, I called Mr. Davis. "So you finally handed it to her?" he asked, his voice carrying a smile. "Yeah, binder and all." "And how did she take it?" "Like someone who just realized the game's over." "Good. Remember, this was never just about money. It was about control. She thought you'd never stand up. Now you have," I exhaled. "Feels strange?" "Not triumphant, just final." "That's what closure feels like," he said. Back in the living room, Emily hovered near me, her voice low. "You're really serious, aren't you?" "Dead serious. And if I don't pay?" I looked straight at her. "Then I'll do what you never thought I could, hold you accountable. Publicly if I have to." Her eyes widened. "You wouldn't embarrass me like that. You embarrassed me every time a bank laughed at me. Every time I was told no because of you. Now it's your turn to squirm." She swallowed hard. No comeback this time. Mom finally spoke. "Maybe this is what she needs. Maybe it's the only way she'll learn." Emily gasped. "Mom!" But I just closed the binder and stood. "This isn't revenge. It's the interest bill. Pay it, or don't. Either way, I'm done being your victim." For the first time in years, Emily didn't laugh. She didn't roll her eyes. She just sat there, silent, staring at the binder like it was a mirror showing her what she had become. And in that silence, I knew she finally saw me, not as her brother to exploit, but as someone she couldn't control. Emily's voice rang through the house. "Mom! Dad, he's trying to ruin me!" I stood in the doorway, arms crossed, binder under my arm. Mom sighed. "Emily, stop shouting." "We're listening." Emily pointed at me like I was the villain. "He wants me to pay him back like I'm some stranger. With interest. Who does that to their own sister?" Dad rubbed his forehead. "What do you expect us to say, Emily? We've defended you for years. Look where it's gotten us," she blinked. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means," Mom said quietly, "we're tired. Tired of excuses. Tired of cleaning up your messes?" Emily's lip trembled. "So you're taking his side?" I stepped forward. "There are no sides. There are consequences." 2 days later, Ethan's car wasn't in the driveway. Emily stormed into the kitchen, eyes puffy. "He left," she muttered. I looked up from my coffee.
"Ethan?"
She slammed her phone down. "He said he's not dating a broke girl." Just like that. Gone. I almost laughed, but stopped myself. "Guess he was only with you for the perks." Her glare could have cut glass. "Don't you dare act smug. You don't know what it's like to lose everything." I set my mug down. "Emily, I lost everything because of you. Remember?" She flinched, words dying in her throat. That night she knocked on my door. "Can we talk?" she asked softly. I opened it just enough to see her face. "Talk about what?" "About us, about forgiveness." I raised an eyebrow. "Now you want forgiveness?" Her eyes welled up. "I made mistakes. I was stupid. I thought you'd be fine. I thought it was just money." "Money?" My voice rose. "It wasn't just money, Emily. It was my future. My dignity. My life," she whispered. "I didn't think it would ruin you." That's the problem. You never think. The next morning at breakfast, she tried again, this time in front of our parents. "I've apologized," she said, her voice cracking. "What more do you want from me? He's acting like I killed someone." Dad looked up from his paper. "You might as well have. You buried his credit, his chances. That's not something you shrug off." Emily turned to Mom. "Please, say something. Tell him he's being cruel." Mom set her fork down. "Emily, for years I've defended you. But I can't anymore. He deserves his peace. You need to own what you did," Emily gasped, like the air had been punched out of her lungs. "You're all turning against me." "No," I said calmly. "We're finally seeing you for who you are." Later that day, she cornered me in the yard. "Please," she whispered. "I'm begging you. Just forget the binder. Forget the bill. I can't handle this." I have nothing left. For a moment, I felt pity. She looked so small, so broken. But then I remembered the nights I lay awake listening to collectors' voicemails, the humiliation of being denied apartments, the cheap noodles I lived on while she flaunted handbags. "Emily," I said slowly, "this isn't about money anymore. It's about trust." "And you destroyed it," she clutched my arm. "I can change. I swear. You had years to change." I pulled away. "Now you live with what you did." Her knees buckled, and she sank onto the grass. "So that's it? You'll never forgive me?" I looked down at her, heart heavy but firm. "You can pay me back, or you can live with the fact that you destroyed your own brother's trust forever. Those are your only options." That night, Marcus called. "How'd it go?" he asked. She begged. She cried. "Even Mom and Dad didn't back her this time," he whistled. "So the tables really turned, huh?" "Yeah, for once she's the one cornered." "And how'd it feel?" I paused. "Strange. Not as sweet as I thought, just final," Marcus chuckled. "That's what winning feels like. It's not fireworks, it's silence." Her silence. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. Silence. For the first time in years, it didn't feel empty. It felt like peace. I stared at the binder one last time before sliding it onto the shelf. It didn't need to haunt me anymore. It had done its job, Marcus called that night. "So did she pay a dime?" he asked. "Not 1 cent, I said, leaning back in my chair. He laughed. "Then I'd call that revenge, man. Sweet and simple." I shook my head, even though he couldn't see me. Revenge means I'd still care about what she owes. This feels different. Different how? Like closure. Like I finally walked out of the cell she put me in. Marcus exhaled. "You sound lighter. Guess you're done dragging her shadow around." "I am," I said. "She broke me once, but I rebuilt myself brick by brick. She can't touch that." He went quiet for a moment. "Proud of you, man. Just don't forget who helped carry some of those bricks." I smiled. "I won't. You were there when I couldn't carry any of them." Later that week, Claire came over with takeout. She dropped the bag on the table and eyed me. "You look different," she said. "Different good or different bad?" "Good. Lighter, like you finally set something down." I opened the food containers. I did. I stopped waiting for her to make things right. "She never will." Claire sat across from me. "That binder, huh?" "Yeah, it used to be proof of everything she stole. Now it's proof I survived." She smiled softly. "That sounds like growth." I poked at the noodles. "Marcus calls it revenge." Claire raised an eyebrow. "Which one do you believe?" "Neither. I just call it closure." "Closure is better," she said. "Revenge keeps you tied to the person who hurt you. Growth sets you free," I chuckled. "You should have been my therapist." "Don't need to be. I just know what it looks like when someone stops bleeding." Silence stretched for a moment. Then Claire asked, "Do you still hate her?" I thought about it. "No, hate takes energy. I'm not giving her any more of mine." Claire nodded. "That's strength." The next morning, I ran into Emily outside Mom and Dad's house. She froze when she saw me. "You're still mad," she blurted out. "No," I said evenly. "I'm not mad anymore." Her eyes darted. "Then why do you look at me like that?" "Like what?" "Like you're reminding me of something I can't undo." I let the silence answer for me. She lowered her gaze. "You know I'll never be able to pay you back," she whispered. "I know," I said, "so what happens now?" "Nothing," I replied. "You live with the fact that you destroyed your brother's trust." "I live with the fact that I rebuilt mine." Her lip trembled. "You make it sound so final." "It is," I said, and walked past her. That night, I stood in front of my mirror. For years, I'd hated my reflection, saw only failure, debt, weakness. But now I saw someone who had crawled out of the wreckage. "You're stronger," I told myself quietly. The man in the mirror nodded back. The phone buzzed again. Marcus checking in. "You good?" he asked. "I'm better than good. I'm free," he chuckled. "Free looks good on you." After hanging up, I sat on the edge of my bed. My thoughts wandered back to the moment Emily's face went pale flipping through that binder. She had laughed at first, then realized I wasn't joking. That memory stayed with her more than it stayed with me, and that was the beauty of it. Every time she looked at me now, I didn't have to say a word. She saw the bill she could never pay. She saw the brother she couldn't control. She saw the man she broke, standing taller than she ever imagined. For the first time in years, I felt whole,